In a small forgotten village nestled between rolling hills and dusty fields, there lived a boy named Sumit. His family owned nothing but an old frail cow named Radha, which provided just enough milk to keep them from starving. Every morning, before the sun had even stretched its golden fingers over the horizon, Sumit would wake up, his bones aching from the cold mud floor he slept on, and milk Radha. Then, with a dented aluminum pot balanced on his head, he would walk miles to the nearby town to sell the milk. The journey was never easy. The path was rough, filled with sharp stones that cut his bare feet, and the weight of the pot made his neck stiff. But the hardest part was the market. The older, more established milk sellers would mock him, saying, "Look at this boy with his half pot of milk. What will you do with that?" They would push him aside, sometimes even tipping his milk onto the ground, laughing as the white liquid seeped into the dirt. That milk was his family's only hope for a meal that day. Sumit would return home with empty hands and a heavy heart. His mother, with a face lined with years of suffering, would sigh but never scold him. "Sumit, failure is not the end," she would say, stroking his hair. "It is only a teacher we did not ask for." But how many times could a boy fail before breaking? One evening, after another day of returning with nothing, Sumit sat by the river, watching the water flow endlessly. He picked up a small stone and threw it in frustration. The ripples spread wide, disturbing the calm surface. Then, like lightning in his mind, an idea struck him. What if I didn't sell the milk the way everyone else did? The next morning, instead of going to the crowded market, he went door to door in the town. He knocked on houses, his voice shaking but determined. Fresh milk, straight from the cow, clean and pure. Some doors slammed in his face, others ignored him, but a few, just a few, bought from him. They liked that the milk came to them fresh, and that the boy's eyes held honesty. Slowly, very slowly, he built trust. He never diluted the milk like the other sellers did. He never cheated. When he saved just enough, he bought another cow, then another. Soon, he had 5 cows, then 10. He hired other village boys, paid them fairly, and expanded his deliveries. But life, as always, had more storms for him. A disease swept through his cattle, killing half of them. A rival milk seller spread rumors that Sumit's milk was impure. For months, his business crumbled. He lay awake at night, his stomach aching with hunger, wondering if he had been a fool to dream. But his mother's words echoed in his mind. Failure is the teacher we did not ask for. Sumit learned. He sought help from a veterinarian, protected his remaining cows, and worked harder. He started making yogurt and ghee from the milk, selling more than just raw liquid. He reinvested every penny, every drop of sweat. Years passed. The boy who once carried a single pot of milk now owned a dairy farm with hundreds of cows. He supplied milk to entire towns and cities. He built a small processing unit, then a larger one. His name, once spat upon in the market, became a symbol of trust. And one day, as he stood on the balcony of his modest office, watching trucks loaded with milk cartons roll out, he realized he was a millionaire, not just in money, but in resilience. The road had been paved with failure. Every rejection, every loss, every night of despair had been a stepping stone. The world had tried to grind him into dust, but he refused to stay down. And that, more than any fortune, was his real victory. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every no, every fall, every struggle is preparing you for the rise. If you keep learning, Keep fighting and never let defeat define you. Even a village boy with nothing but a pot of milk can change his destiny. From this story, we learn that success is not about avoiding failure, but about rising every time we fall. Sumit's journey teaches us that failure is a part of life and a teacher in disguise. Every struggle, every setback, every moment of despair is preparing us for the bigger breakthrough ahead. Success is not about never falling. It's about rising each time stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Life's toughest battles often prepare us for its sweetest victories. And in the end, perseverance, honesty, and an unbreakable spirit are the true measures of success.